as we are past the midway point of 2024, I think it's important to talk about the games that are coming in the future, because 2024 hasn't been slouching in terms of releases, with Final Fantasy VII, Like a Dragon, Persona 3, Helldivers 2, V Rising, Dragon's Dogma, and as of a few days ago, / a week or so ago, we had the Elden Ring DLC, The Shadow of the Erdtree. And funnily enough, Destiny's been getting in on the action as well, with the best expansion that they've released in the last 10 years, in my opinion. So being that it's just finished June, let's talk about the games that I am most excited for going into the second half of 2024. So let's discuss them together, have a bit of fun, and hopefully some games on this list that you will be excited for as well. I think it's important to start with like the monthly cycle. So if we go straight into July, which there is a few games that I'm interested in, such as Flintlock Siege of Dawn, The First Descent, Once Human, but I'm actually using July as a way for me to have a little break, because when you play 130 hours worth of Destiny 2 in the space of a month and have a whole bunch of other stuff to go, contend with, making videos and all that, you can kind of hit the point of burnout. So I want to take this time to kind of go back a little bit and maybe go and play some games from my backlog, or just kind of have a rest and then recharge. Even though I'm kind of going on a vacation later on in the year, I still want to, do something gaming related. So maybe I'll go back to some old stuff. Maybe I'll go and finish some projects that I had started before the new expansion for Destiny launched. But that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing in July. So let's talk about August. There are two games in August that I'm most excited to jump into. The first of those being Black Myth Wukong. That is releasing on the 20th of August, and we're going to be jumping into the shoes, boots, or like paws, I suppose, of Wukong the Monkey King. It's inspired by a Chinese novel, Journey to the West, and the art style looks incredible. The boss design looks great, and I'm just really interested in this game. I've been looking at it for quite some time, and I am unfortunately not going to be able to play it at launch, purely because I'm going to be on holiday when the actual release date is out. And I've got a hankering for another Souls-like game that isn't Elden Ring, because just this past year I beat all 165 bosses in Elden Ring. One hit, come on. Yes! 165 bosses! We had to chase it at the end, but it's done! It's done! All of them! And I have this hankering to play like another Souls action style game that isn't Elden Ring. Yes, I could play the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, but I'm a little bit burnt out on Elden Ring, so I'll give that a little bit more time to simmer and cook before I jump into that expansion. Star Wars Outlaws is up next, and that is going to be out on August 30th. As you know from the channel, I've been covering Star Wars Outlaws for quite some time, from when we actually got the announcement over a year ago of what the name of the game actually is. I'm very excited for Star Wars Outlaws. A lot of people aren't. I know that a couple of videos that I've put out, people are just kind of mixed on what this game is actually going to be, because it has the Ubisoft title connected to it. I'm not really sure how people are going to take this, but for me, I love Star Wars. I love exactly what this game is trying to give me as an experience. A rogue, scoundrel type experience going into the criminal underworld, which is something that really hits a spot for me. And we've just had an announcement for Bounty Hunter, like a remaster of that. But, those types of areas of the game that isn't Jedi related is what I like the most. And from all the previews and stuff I've seen so far of Star Wars Outlaws, it's looking good. So why can I not just be excited? If you're not, then hey, there's going to be plenty more games for you to jump into. Being that I am a massive fan of the Metro franchise, and having not played the first game, Stalker 2 is going to be making its way onto this list of games, which is coming out on September 5th. It's going to be on Game Pass, and boy, does this game look amazing. I've been wanting another Metro style experience for a while. Graphically, the game looks incredible from what I've seen so far, and there's just something about the Chernobyl time period that kind of then pushes into the realms of post-apocalyptic in those times, the exclusion zone and things kind of going crazy. That is what excites me, and the team's been working on this for a very long time, a team out of Ukraine, so obviously it's not been the most swimming of developments, but It looks amazing, like graphically. Hopefully it plays the same as well, and it's looking to be like semi-open world or like fully open world. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm interested to just dive in. And I don't have too many days to play Star Wars Outlaws before this launches, so yeah, let's see how Stalker 2 stacks up with the rest of the games coming out this year. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. That's all I need to say. September 9th. I've already covered this on the channel a few times. Quite a few times if you look at my backlog of videos. And I just think that Space Marine 2 is going to be one of those games that just hits for me. I've been really excited for it. We've got campaign co-op. We've got 3-person like cooperative missions. We've got some PvP in there as well. The thing I'm most interested about, and I've said this throughout all of my preview videos, is how Saber Interactive will support the project going forward, because they've done it with World War Z, they've done it with all of their other titles, and it feels like they're going to do the same here with Space Marine. Maybe new missions and new weapons, or maybe even like a new like campaign DLC type deal. It could do that great. It could be wonderful for the game. It could add another 20 to 30 hours. I'm not looking for this to be the next 100-hour game, but certainly Space Marine 2 is going to be on the top of my list, and that's coming out September 9th. So we literally have Star Wars Outlaws, Stalker 2, and also Space Marine in the space of like 9 days, which is mental. October is a little bit of a weird month, purely because there's a couple of games in here that I'm like not 100% invested in. We do have the Diablo 4 expansion, which is coming out on October 8th. The cinematic for that looked gorgeous, and I've been wanting to get back into Diablo after taking some time off. I wasn't really having as much fun with the game. I'm kind of waiting for it to come onto Steam, the summer sale, or like a sale, so I can get it a little bit cheaper, so I'm getting my Steam Deck. But Diablo, I think, has come a long way from launch, and the new expansion's given us a class. It's given us a new area, some new endgame stuff as well. So maybe if I just check this out for a bit of fun, don't really cover it for content that much anymore. So Diablo 4 definitely looks like it could be great, and hopefully they keep improving on the game, because I actually really enjoyed Diablo 4 at launch, and obviously since then it went a bit of an up and down, but they seem to be on the right track with where they're taking the game going forward. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now wait, before you say anything and like start to ridicule me in the comments, the only reason I'm interested in this is purely because it's on Game Pass. Like, you can't say the new Call of Duty is going to be on my Game Pass subscription and be like, nah, I'm not going to check this out. It would be rude not to in this case. I'm not really that interested in the multiplayer, the campaign maybe, but mainly because I play zombies, and my friend is a massive zombies fan, so I'd love to jump in with them. And I don't really justify the price that Call of Duty has been over the last few years to jump into the zombies, and it's Treyarch. They're doing round-based stuff again, so that's why I'm interested, and maybe I'll dabble in the multiplayer as well. But yeah, that's the whole reason I'm interested in Black Ops 6. Nothing really else kind of appeals to me there. It's just another Call of Duty game, another shooter, like movement, all that jazz. That's the reason why I'm interested, because it's going to be at a discounted price, which is, all around pretty good. Jumping then straight into November, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. So 2 Ubisoft games on this list. Yes, I know a lot of people aren't massive fans of Ubisoft games and what they decide to like hate about that specific game. But Assassin's Creed Shadows, for me, looks like it's taken bold choices in terms of where it's taking the game, somewhere that we wanted for a long period of time. It's also going to be able to showcase 2 different characters, 2 different playstyles. And the thing that I like the most about, from what I've seen so far, is that it's very much still Assassin's Creed, like the new era of Assassin's Creed. But it seems like they're kind of stripping back some of the stuff as well, like the bloat potentially, and going for more of like an Origins, or like an, I wouldn't say Odyssey is the best example because that game was incredibly bloated, but it's Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. You can't not like get interested about that, which is why I'm so excited and why I've covered it a few times, and we'll continue to cover it when we get some big drops of information going forward when I find the time. We now moved into the unconfirmed list. I have 4 games here. The first of those is called The Alters. The Alters is a game where you play as a space miner that's found some like supernatural space stuff that's basically allowed them to merge realities with like alternate versions of themselves and decisions that they made in the past. Like maybe there could be a family man in one timeline, or they're a very highly intelligent person in another one. There's someone that maybe didn't make the right choices and ended up really poor, and these are going to all come together, and you'll be able to like have a ship of these alters. And I'm interested to see the dynamic with the narrative, how many different endings there could possibly be, and how they decide to go forward with the story elements. That's what's the most fascinating about it. Like you have different things that you can explore, like small choices or big choices. Imagine if you make a decision in gameplay and then it changes, like there's another version of yourself that made the other decision. That's what's most exciting for me with a smaller title like this. 2 Xbox games here. The first of those being Indiana Jones. I'll keep this short and I'll keep this sweet. Indiana Jones, I've enjoyed the first 3 movies. I enjoyed the Machine games, which make the Wolfenstein games. So that kind of merged together is why I'm interested in Indiana Jones. No other reason. I just want to see how it will play and what it will be. It's on Game Pass. I don't know necessarily it will knock my socks off. But hey, it's an Indiana Jones game. It's supposed to be coming out later on this year. So maybe it'll come out in October, November time. We don't really know, which is why I'm kind of not overly hyped for it. But I just want to see what Machine Games' take is on Indiana Jones. Avowed is a game that I'm very curious about, because after watching the 30-minute breakdown, like gameplay portion that we had after the showcase, it definitely looked a lot better than what they'd previously shown. They'd shown some, gameplay in terms of combat, and they're changing some things around there from what we saw a couple of months ago. But obviously at the Xbox Direct, we got to see some more stuff on the game. And the thing about Avowed is I like the RPG elements of it, like how your narrative affects the world, and it seems like that's what Obsidian is kind of leaning into. They've also said that it's going to be the same length as the Outer Worlds, which I have also played and quite enjoyed. And Obsidian have this type of pedigree when it comes to these types of games. They've made quite a few of them, Fallout New Vegas being one. The Outer Worlds obviously is known, but it's not the most amazing game. It's probably like a good 7 to 8 out of 10. But I feel like this time round, Obsidian's going to be linking it into the Pillars of Eternity universe as well. And I think they'll do a pretty good job. I think they'll nail the kind of vibe that they're going for. And these games don't have to be these like 150-hour experiences. A condensed RPG that can have multiple playthroughs potentially, which then stacks up the hours. But maybe 20, 30, 40-hour experience, maybe even a 50-hour experience is quite nice, especially with one of these big RPGs, which they've said they're kind of trying to keep it on a bit more of a shorter side. Quick side note, Scattered Space from Starfield is going to make an appearance somewhere in here, purely because I enjoyed Starfield, but a lot of people didn't, and people have had like mixed opinions on Starfield over the last year. But I'm excited to see what they do with the new DLC. No release date for it as of yet. Or I think they did something like maybe September time. This is what I'm predicting, maybe a little bit later on in the year. But yeah, looking forward to more Starfield. The last game on this list is Dragon Age Veilguard, or The Veilguard, whatever you want to call it. Now, for me, Dragon Age, when I first saw this trailer, I wasn't exactly 100% sold. There's going to be this like kind of upbeat vibe to it. But then when I saw the gameplay, I was a little bit torn, because on one hand, I like the new aesthetic and what they're doing as opposed to what they did in Inquisition. But I do not like playing as a rogue. So I wasn't like, oh, that's pretty cool. If they did like a mage or like a main warrior or a fighter, I think that would have been the thing that sold me a little bit more. But it does look better than I thought. And I'm going to do like a big video breaking down all the details on Dragon Age Veilguard in the future. And I think this game is definitely going to divide fans. Is this the new BioWare? Is this what we can hope to see in Mass Effect in the future? But from what I have seen, I'm 50-50. I'm very excited for it because it's supposed to be coming out later on this year. And at least in my opinion, the latter half of this year isn't exactly like majorly stacked with games. We have Gamescom coming up in August, so it might reveal some more stuff there. But it feels like a lot of the big titles I'm waiting for have been pushed into 2025. Although the ones on this list, I'm still obviously very much anticipating. So yeah, that's the list of games that are coming out for the latter half of 2024. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments section. And if you've enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, subscribe as always. And this has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.